Oh, you keep that flame burning, baby. Yeah, you gotta keep that flame burning forever, baby. That dream. Yeah, come on, baby, keep that dream burning. Yeah. Forever, 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 forever. Oh, forever dream.
Um, Yo, what's going on, everybody? Gabriel Carborough here today. Today's episode is Civil War Revisited. And yeah, man, I told you guys I watched this Civil War film called Civil War the other day. It made an impact on me. Really interesting film. Disturbing, but not one of those disturbing films where it's like it's hard to watch. It's more like a ratcheted up travel flick, you know, people traveling the United States. So yeah, so what's up, everybody? How's it going? Logical Sparks in the building. Welcome to the stream, and yeah, we're gonna be diving into the unsettling world of Alex Garland's Civil War, and we're not. I'm not going to just look at it as a film critique it like that. I'm going to look at it through the lens of reality, and that's the theme of the movie is Civil War from the perspective of journalists, in particular, photojournalists. So yeah. Yeah, so if you're someone that has been that's traveled the US and knows a lot about it, seen a lot of the different places, you might like this and might want to hear your takes on this, because this film spans all across the United States, and it definitely is like a nightmare in a sense, right? And when you watch this movie, one could see it as a fictional nightmare, or maybe, unfortunately, it might be a roadmap to where the country's actually going, or already there. So yeah, so once again, welcome to the show, and let me give you a background to the movie. Spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen the movie Civil War, here's a little synopsis of it. And like I said, spoiler alert. I'll be right back. So let's see what's really going on with this movie. A little summary. Spoiler alert. Civil War Revisited. NPC the game and friends. So yeah. Five minutes.
The United States is engulfed in a civil war sparked by the tyrannical rule of a corrupt president who established a fascist regime. Now serving a third term, an illegal position under the 22nd Amendment, he has dismantled vital democratic institutions, including the FBI, which serves as a critical check on executive power. He also undermined checks and balances and deployed military drones against American citizens. In the face of an authoritarian takeover in Washington, some states unilaterally seceded from the Union. These states aim to resist the president's regime, rallying their military might to challenge the central authority. Notably, Texas and California formed the Western forces. Most southern states
Western forces, Texas and California. Normally, you would think that that they wouldn't have linked up, but they did, right? Under the ops of the president in this movie, where he's serving a third term, right, which is illegal, and in doing so, I think he ordered drone strikes on airstrikes on the American people. So yeah, I mean, that's probably why some cultural background, the cultural history of California and whatchamacallit, and Florida would link up. I mean, because normally you would think Texas and California. Texas is a lot more conservative than California, but they probably put that to side, if there was actually a tyrannical ruler like that of the United States that was actually deleting American citizens.
unite as the Florida Alliance. They actively seek to recruit other states into their cause, employing violence in their quest for expansion. The New People's Alliance represents northern states. However, this alliance lacks the military strength of the Western forces and the Florida Alliance, creating a sense of fragmentation and uncertainty about the nation's future. Each faction is driven by its own ideologies and goals, suggesting that even if the president is overthrown, struggles for dominance among these factions are inevitable. In the movie, the Civil War is mostly explored through the perspective of journalists. Lee, portrayed
Got the digital camera, Lee, right there.
by Kristen Dunst, is the main character. As a photojournalist, she covered war zones abroad. Lee and Joel are determined to tell the story of this civil conflict, which leads them to plan an ambitious trip from New York City to Washington, D.C. to interview and photograph the president, who remained silent for over a year. Veteran reporter Sammy and rookie photojournalist Jesse joined them on this dangerous journey, navigating war-torn landscapes and facing the challenges of an economy in free fall, characterized by ration goods and violence. Urban warfare wreaks havoc on infrastructure, and journalists encounter the grim realities of lawlessness, with looters facing brutal punishments. As war rages in urban centers, civil society is at work to help affected civilians.
And civilians would be affected definitely on this during this with all this crazy shit that's going on. Let me bring up my friend.
That's a good dedication. Way to go.
Hey, what's going on, Neuro Jack?
Hey, what's up? You like my
What's up, man? Yeah, man, that's the Bay Area. Asian Blasian, Eurasian sensation, right? Olympic medalist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like it. This is the future, right?
If you look a little closer, I changed a little bit on it, so
What'd you change? What did you see? Trying to see.
You gotta look really close. So, yeah.
You have hair in her arms. Oh no, that's wrong.
Well, she's white now.
So
she's white now. So she's part white. So I was like, I have to give her some like white features, like.
Hey, what's up,
caveman?
Shadow. Good to see you. We're caveman.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I thought her skunk hair, blended in with her the armpit hair. It looks like a pharaoh hat. Actually, her hair.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, it's kind of like camouflage. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, her whole thing is like camouflage. She's got like the Billie Eilish, like kind of skater girl aesthetic.
Yeah, her story is interesting, man. Like, good to see he's a shadow Buddha. Yeah, he never had a friend like me, man. I'll give you my last shot at Hennessy. The great Neurojack on panel live. Now, Neuro, yeah, you're always current with this stuff. That's funny you had that because my wife and I we were gonna watch a movie last night. Like, we relax after work, whatever, and son's asleep, and we were gonna watch the movie. But I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna watch some local news, some KTVU, KTVU, right? Channel 2, right? I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Yeah, well, I watch it. I watch it at least once a week just to see. I used to stream it actually on my show and just watch the news because it's such a weird thing to watch. So.
It is. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, and some I don't know, some normie like conspiracy truther guys might say some newbie maybe like, what do you believe on? No, we don't believe on that. I'm speaking for you now, Neuro. We don't believe all of it. It's just like it's a good pulse of what the machine, the media is trying to spew out.
I can't remember. Yeah, it's so good. Especially, I don't think I can't remember if it's KTVU2 or like Channel 7 or one of them's owned by Disney.
Those are all good.
So it's really crazy when you
Channel
watch
7.
Yeah, 7. You watch
ABC.
That one. It's like literally like the ultimate Disney news, and it gives you a very good idea of like what's going on in the world for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I didn't think about that, Neuro. Like how the channel. The corporation would influence it like that because KTVU is Fox, right? And it is a lot more gritty. And first of all, it's in Oakland. It's centered out of Oakland. Sure. And then the other one's out of I think it's SF or San Jose, whatever. But like
I think it's SF. 7 is out of SF.
Yeah. But this girl right here is interesting. Like her father was a Chinese immigrant. He came from China. He was persecuted during Tiananmen Square, right? He left China. He went to America, became a medical student, became a doctor. I don't think he ever got married, but he had like 5 kids through artificial insemination. And she was one of them. It's pretty wild, right? That's
Yeah, it
well,
goes back to like the same thing as clavicular, where it's like the whole like biohacking theme. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
And then
Yeah.
the other girl, Eileen Gu, who is like a single mom, tiger mom, and Eileen Gu goes to Stanford, and this girl's like the punk
Oh
rock, like
yeah.
has
Yeah.
two babies. She's like Alyssa Liu's kind of like the Asian version of Nick Fuentes. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, she says all
It's
the
like
right things.
yeah, it's kind of a weird. It's kind of a very weird like. I think it's real people, but like definitely it feels very staged at the same time. You know what I'm? And I
Yeah.
don't think that like in a negative way to take
I
anything
think
away from her. Honestly, like I like her. I like her better than Eileen Gu. Although like I think it's kind of based that Eileen Gu wants to be like China maxing, even though she's an
yeah.
American. I think that's kind of cool. But at the same time, like I kind of like Alyssa Liu better. It's more like free spirited, I guess you'd say. So I don't know.
There's this one, right? Yeah, yeah, it's super.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, there was an interview or the other one, the skier, right? The Stanford one. We'll call it Nick Fuentes. Like she was in an interview and the reporter's like, wow, what a great, you're so thoughtful when you answer questions in this. And she was like, well, that's because I'm very thoughtful when I think about things. I really truly think them out, every single word I'm going to use. And it's like, okay, that's good. And yeah, where this girl's a lot more careful.
Yeah, she was like being very like the other girl is just kind of boring. You know what I mean? Like she's smart, but she's just like very boring. This one's like more, you know, fun. I guess you'd say. You know,
Yeah,
like
a lot more fun.
And,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. What do you think watching the news though? Because I'm always curious. Like I don't get to talk to too many people here about watching the news because when I do, it's always like it's weird because everybody who lives here like watches it and we're like, holy crap, things are getting so bad. Because we know it's so worse than what the news says, but it's like
Yeah.
at the same time we're like still like happy with where we're at in a weird way. Like
oh yeah, it's a good place because it's still a good place, man. Like relatively speaking, it's one of it's where everyone's trying to go. I don't care who you are, you're trying to go to where I'm from and where Neurojack is. I'm holding it down, bro. That's where everyone wants to go, man. You want to talk shit about SF and all that. And I get it, but you don't get a lot of these people. You don't really get to talk about it in the sense that like Neuro and I have seen it when it was pretty dope, right? I mean, it's always had its problems, right, with the homelessness and whatnot. But
yeah,
it's a cool
it's
city.
one of those things where like, yeah, like it's the thing where like I see. Here's the thing. It's like I don't like praying for people's downfall. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of weird that people are like, "Oh, San Francisco, that's like a liberal, blah blah blah." It's like, well, whatever it is, it's like it's kind of like a loser mentality to say, well, you know, it's just a bunch of woke people, let it fall into the ocean. It's like, well, a conqueror mentality would be like, let's make it better. You know what I'm saying? But everybody just gives up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I get it. I do get it. Like I think about like escaping all the time, but at the same time, like if people just had a little bit more balls to like take certain, you know, steps in the right direction, you know, we could do something about it. You know, it's hard to do something about it, but it's possible. You know,
we could, especially with all the brains over there, man, and heart. Because don't get it twisted, people. It is California, but Northern California at one time had a lot of the quote unquote Okies from Oklahoma, from the Dust Bowl that migrated here. A lot of people from the South came here.
Yeah, it's very redneck north of here. Like
it is very redneck.
North you go, it's very redneck. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like more
my
redneck.
grandfather was a
redneck than other places. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I was gonna say my grandpa, my poppy, his name's Adolf. He rest in peace. He was a self-proclaimed redneck. And I mean, he fucked with me, of course, right? But like he was, it is what it is. He grew his crops, his garden. He was old school, bro. And there's people still like that there. And I think, man, you and I have that in us too, in a bit. But I still realize the fact that I do also like the progressiveness of the West too. It just seems like it's out of hand at times, huh?
Well,
You
it's
know?
weird. I reject progressiveness as a whole, but honestly,
Yeah,
like, there's a lot of things that I think they get right. So I know that sounds like a
yeah.
contradiction, but like, I think that a
There's
lot of the
nuance. It's
progressive
all.
ideals, yeah, there's a lot of nuance to it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like what, like for example, like I don't know, I don't know. I just think that if the way that if you want to help people, it's hard to do, right? And I
Uh-huh.
just think that a lot of people pretend that they care about things when they don't give it the proper like thought that it actually
Yeah,
takes to like do something right. Like if you see
yeah.
how bad the homelessness and the drugs is here, everybody's like, well, don't talk bad about it. It's like, well, how can you help these people if you don't recognize like they're in desperate situations, right? Like you can't like brush it off like it's not that bad. Like it's
Yeah.
really, really terrible the way these people are living, and it affects everything, right? Like the crime, like for example, like look where I live. There was like some like Hispanic, probably illegal person doing crime, and the police are like hunting for him or something, right? Now look,
Hmm.
do I hate immigrants because of the crime? No, but what I'm saying is like we have to be honest about what's going on here. Most people that are doing the crime around here, that is like a serious problem, um, just simply are not from here. Now, again, that doesn't mean that the government's not involved in it. That doesn't mean that like other things aren't happening, right? But
Yeah.
what we see on the day-to-day basis, like they become the face of it. So it's like to just
Uh-huh.
shrug it off like it's not happening is like just dishonest, right? So,
Right.
but it is, I
No,
don't
go
know.
ahead.
It's no, no. I was just saying it's like it's just one of those things where it's like everybody's like walks on eggshell to the point where like you just can't ever actual conversation. I think that's like bad for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nothing gets done. It goes to the interpersonal communications too. It's like you and I have had we've had like our disagreements and whatnot, but like when we actually sat down, I don't know what it was like. Seemed like maybe like 6 months, 8 months ago, and talked after not talking for so long. We like, oh, okay, we got to the root of what it was, and, and we were able to, here we are today, having a good time, right? And it's all these people here, and that goes with our families, our cities and states, man, and country, right, in the world,
Well,
and
yeah. Well, and it applies to everything. Like you and I were kind of talking about this off and on for a long time, but it's like it's kind of like being married, right? Like or having a friendship,
mhm.
right? Like if
Yes, it is.
you're like if you kind of like dance around things with your wife, like you might get by for a while, but it's always going to blow up at some
It'll,
point.
yes,
Like
it will.
you have to get the communication. Like the painful stuff is going to happen one way or the other. So you kind of have to confront it, right? And I think that's the hardest part of
Yeah,
communication and a lot of it. And
yeah.
for my biggest problem with progressiveness is like it stifles communication. If that makes it, you know.
Yeah, because they're not talking. They're not talking about it in a immediate way or a harsh way. Harsh. That's the first word that comes to mind. In a way that's like in your face. Like this is it. I don't mean don't get it twisted. Someone could be harsh and still have a lot of like friendship or love behind it too. It's just we need to address these things. And coming back to the KTVU, like I remember there's times when people were killed, like multiple people were killed in the neighborhood, or there was a home invasion and or kidnapping. And my wife literally saw somebody like running down the street, like Asian girl naked, like with blood and stuff, and there were cops everywhere. And like that's not we couldn't even find it on the news, not on KTVU, not on CAN TV, any of that. Any of that. So it's like sweeping that under the rug. When in fact the crime, the violence, like the story right now, the biggest story is the Oakland story at Club Easy downtown, where the teacher was murdered. I don't know if you heard that one. The pretty black teacher. She got killed. She was there and she got in the crossfire. She got hit. And yeah, man, like it's fucking wild. But the Bay Area is interesting. How it's so bad in some neighborhoods, but then it's so rich and affluent and safe in other neighborhoods. But
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
literally night and day. Like literally, some of the wealthiest people in the world, right next to like some of the most like, I mean, just really bad situation. I don't know how to like
Yeah.
explain it exactly. It's hard to describe,
Yeah.
but like
can
it's
show
not
you
like
better than they
it's
can
not
tell
like
you.
third world bad in a lot of
Yeah.
cases. Like
Well,
most of the third world stuff is like kind of self-imposed by people who are on drugs. I would say to some degree, you know. And I'm not blaming them all the way. I'm just saying like that's definitely like
I say it's
the
pretty
biggest,
close though,
most obvious
Neurojack.
part.
Bro, like I literally, when I got married, I moved to 79th Avenue in Hillside in deep East Oakland, right? And right behind MacArthur Boulevard.
Yeah,
And
that's really bad.
that was like,
that's
that was
like a really tough
really
neighborhood.
bad. But it's weird though, because like my
Yeah.
street was on a dead end and it was like, I mean, from all looks, if you're new, you'd be like, oh, it seems like a okay place, you know, like everyone has their lawn and everything, but no, there's, you know, gunshots, people get, you know, all that shit. Yeah, but most people, I didn't know about places like this. I heard about them not until I moved there, and I lived in the Bay Area.
It's only when you know. It's only when you know. Like I didn't know how bad it was until like I had a really good friend who was my roommate. He's still my good friend, honestly. In college, and he was a little bit older than me, and he grew up out here. And he looks Hispanic, but he's actually like Hawaiian, Puerto Rican, and Chinese mixed together. So he could pass for like white, or he could pass for white, or he could pass for white or Latino, but he's that mix. But anyways, he grew up in like some really really rough neighborhoods with like heroin and stuff like that. And so he would tell me stories about like a neighborhood I was living in. He's like, oh yeah, we used to like shoot at each other across the street here, you know?
Yeah.
Like literally just like 2 apartment buildings, just like people shooting across the street at each other, you know? Like
I've seen that, man. I was talking to my neighbor Joseph downstairs, family man. 3 p.m. in the afternoon, like on a Tuesday. I worked at the drugstore. I called the drugstore at the Italian grocery store, and I was off on Tuesday. And we were talking, just chatting, and all of a sudden, car pulls up, bam, bam, literally across the street, at the house across the street. Dude started shooting at the door or that window or whatever, and then drove away. And we just said to each other, "Okay, we'll talk to you later." He went inside, and I went upstairs. And that was it. I was like, God damn it. It's like on a Tuesday afternoon, man. Like it's nothing.
Yeah, it's just wild. So I bring this up for another reason too. Like, okay, so, and this is kind of like a weird thing. Like, okay, and so I'll give my caveat ahead of time. Okay, like for example, I'm from the South. Okay, and look, I can tell you right now, like if a bunch of redneck people from where I come from came here today and moved in next door to me, I would be the first person who would be like really annoyed. Now, if they were good people, I would get along with them. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like ignorant, racist, you know, just bad, like just bad people in general. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I would not like that, right? So what I've noticed is like, you know, like I've talked about Thailand and stuff like that, and you've been to, you know, Asia and stuff. If somebody took people out of that really bad neighborhood, like even if they weren't directly involved, but you know, just like people who come from that environment and they put them in your neighborhood wherever you're at now, right? How like would you feel? And they came there to like alleviate all their problems and get away. Would you celebrate it, or would you be a little bit like cautious about it? Like I don't know how I feel about this. Like now that they're, you know, you see them like, and if you started noticing it was becoming a trend, like. Like, how would you feel about that?
Now you're saying that if they're coming from a horrible place, and do they want to do better?
Well, that's what I'm saying is like you don't know, right? You don't know exactly, right? You see
am I happy about it?
Or like, do you think it would upset like your peace that you have there? Because like in a way it would be like, oh, good, people who I'm familiar with, but another way it's like, how is this going to affect my
I would think that
peaceful existence, right?
I would definitely think that. I'm pointing to negation a lot of times, meaning like I think negatively first to get out of the way, get that shit out the way. So but then there's a close positive part too. They'd be like, okay, let's see what they bring to the table. Well, I'm gonna have a side eye on them, especially if I know they're from a crazy place, right?
Right. All right. Well, okay. I'll give an example. Okay.
We're different though. Huh?
So okay, think about it like this. You posted something on your what is that, TikTok, right? And you're talking about
Yeah.
KTVs, right? Now, I've never
Yes.
really
Yes.
been to a KTV, but I've
Yeah,
been
you
in the
saw that.
vicinity of them.
Yeah.
And what's interesting to me is like I feel like in Asia, like I honestly like I don't think it's disgusting in like a negative way, but definitely like it's kind of like I feel like go-go bars are kind of tasteful, but I feel like KTVs are a little bit like it can
It's
go either way. Like
sleazier.
I feel like I feel like it's sleazier. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's enclosed private rooms. That's the whole thing. Anything can go down in those places.
Anything can happen. Exactly.
I actually been to one before, and it was at a child's birthday party. My son's classmates or kindergarten or whatever. But yeah, but the ones that I was talking about in that video, man, they have drug parties in there, and you get all liquored up and all kinds of
here's
stuff.
the thing is, it's kind of like it's kind of hard to describe because like I think Americans, we kind of have like there's definitely bad places in America where like bad things happen. But like in Asia, it's so quiet that you don't really know what's going on, right? Like
exactly, unless you're involved.
Bad stuff. Yeah, exactly. Like, and if you are involved, your life's in danger. If you ever thought about it, I'm sure, right? So
absolutely,
yeah. So, and I think that's one of the things like Americans are like, oh, why do you want to tell people that it's bad? And that's kind of the weird part about like I'm happy about the liberalization of Asia in that way because like I do think there's a lot of people who get mistreated over there that nobody's ever going to know about, I guess you'd say. So
they'll never know. Yeah, they'll never know, man.
And it happens here too, but it's like I think the level's like a different level in a place like that, especially like Cambodia or something like Cambodia is like people get disappeared all the time. I'm sure, like I'm sure of it. You know, what I mean?
Right now there's a last couple of years, and there's a joke that the junior high students used to say to each other when they're trying to mess with somebody. They'd be like, why don't you take a trip to Cambodia? Because there was a lot of Taiwanese travelers going over there or looking for a job that offered a job, and they would end up missing, kidnapped. And some of the rumors were like they take their organs and kill them or whatever.
Yeah, I've been to Cambodia once, and it was like it's one of those things like if you just go to like Phnom Penh and you're in like a general area, like it feels very kind of like cool. It doesn't feel cool like in a Thailand way at all, but it's very like you could see like I could live here, But
That's
once you kind of get outside of that, which one?
What's his name? Zebaba or whatever. He's from Belgium. He goes on these streams pretty ripped a lot. He used to go on the Powder Dusty and then hang out and what's his name?
Oh, interesting.
OTW. Yeah,
it's a special breed
lives in there.
It's a special breed of person that can live over there. Like I think there's good people that can live there, but like
I'm sure, yeah, for sure.
You got to be a tough person because like that's a very steep learning curve. Like I'm just telling like it's one of those things. Like it's not for beginners, in my opinion.
You went in a hard mode. Over here is like I told you. I always say it's like it's America in a lot of ways that they speak Mandarin. Yeah, it's so much like them. The more I stay here, it's like the good things too, and it's like pretty chill for the most part.
Yeah, like honestly, I never really considered it, but like now the more I thought about it, like Taiwan seems pretty cool. Like because like Japan is kind of cool too, but it's also like it's kind of so hyped up in a way where everybody's like, oh, Japan, like Like if I go to Japan, I'm going to like some village where there's like no there's not a lot of other people around that are from like the West, I think,
But the thing is, that is actually where you can buy a house for $50K. One of those places.
Honestly, I want to start a business like that where we just like take Americans and like say, hey, do you want to live abroad or buy a property? Like I really want to do.
We need to be serious about that shit, bro.
I'm dead serious about it. I've been thinking about that for 10 years. I'm dead serious. Like if you're ever interested to do it, then we just have to find context. Like there's people who do it, but like I think it's one of those things where like I think you're gonna see a mass exodus from America. Like even if it's just like part-time, like I think people are just hitting their like they're hitting their limit for the stress, I think,
Yeah, I say, and they're realizing that there are other options. We're trying to tell you there's other options. You've done it. I'm doing it. Like we're gonna do it again.
Yeah, it's just the income. But like if you could just figure out the income, that's the only thing.
Yes, that's the most important thing. Yeah, They talk about what they call it, digital nomad and all that stuff. Like you can do what I'm doing. You can be a teacher, and I probably got the best setup you can. However, I want to be the one to learn. This is taking my time away from my learning and my son's learning. However, it's good money. So, but something like you're talking about, that's something that can free us up, free you up to do and make some money. But there's other things. We just have to put our, brainstorm the shit. Chatabuda says, he says, "Oh, Gabe, that guy talk crap about you. Who needs them?" Yeah, he did talk crap. That guy, what's his name? Say Baba or something like that. Yeah, he did. He was talking crap. Yeah. Notice we don't see him around anymore. What up, Calix? Now, here's the thing. This movie, did you see Civil War, Neurojack? Seems like a movie you would see.
No, honestly, I don't really watch movies anymore, especially new ones. But I mean, I would. I just haven't really kept up. But what's it about exactly? I think I know, but I'm not exactly.
If there was a civil war in America, what would, and it's through the eyes of a journalist. Here, I'll rewind it a little bit. This is like a quick synopsis of it. Spoiler alert. It's very interesting. Now, mind you, it came out in 2024. A little after all the Antifa stuff was like hitting. So here we go.
Is engulfed in a civil war sparked by the tyrannical rule of a corrupt president who established a fascist regime, now serving a third term, an illegal position under.
See, third term, that's already a red flag, right? The president serving a third term in this fictional story.
Yeah, I don't hear any audio, by the way. It's probably just me, but but it's okay. I can get the gist though.
Yeah, here, let me put the even though you're on your phone, it might be hard to read, but I'll put the things on the captions. There you go.
Amendment, he has dismantled vital democratic institutions, including the FBI, which serves as a critical check on executive power. He also
so this president, he has a third term. He got rid of the FBI.
Undermine checks and balances.
He's done strikes on the American people, citizens.
Deployed military drones against American citizens. In the face of an authoritarian takeover in Washington, some states unilaterally seceded from the Union. These states aim to resist the president's regime, rallying their military might to challenge the central authority. Notably, Texas and California formed the Western Forces.
So there it is, Neurojack. It's the Western Forces, Texas combined with California against this tyrannical president, third-term president. First of all, that sounds I wouldn't have thought of that. Those two states would link up. Would you? Or is that?
I mean, it makes sense to me now. Like as of what I know now, it does make sense, but it's a hard thing to explain. Like, I don't want to. I mean, I don't mind getting into it, but it's probably not something that your audience wants to hear my opinion on. But like, I would say that like I can definitely see it. Yeah, I could see how that could happen.
Yeah, I'm curious what you can say. My audience is, you are my audience, my core audience, and it's this type of person I'm trying to talk to.
So, all right, I'll say okay. So
you're a friend. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. The Western Front. Yeah. Texas and California. Yeah.
But I would say it's like this. It's like, I don't know if you noticed, but like now all of a sudden, like all the left-wing people who tried to get rid of guns are now suddenly like pro-gun. Like, well, we got to defend against fascist Orange Man or something, right? And I do think that's kind of funny in a lot of ways, obviously. And like, I get it. Like, but it's just funny. It's like, again, it's just weird how everyone switches positions every 10 years. Like, oh, you like guns 10 years ago, you're a fascist. Now there's fascism. We have to protect ourselves from fascism. It's like, okay, like that's what we were saying. You know what I mean? On the people who are considered on the right. So it's just interesting, So I think that's kind of what that's playing into, in my opinion. So I think that's the kind of like this new, like the new liberal is kind of like libertarianism in a weird way, which is kind of, it's like, again, that's just such a weird, interesting change of events,
Well, the name is similar. It's like, and so they're moving and they're migrating to Texas, right? A lot of them, especially the people with money. The Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, that
who
was
else?
happening. That was actually happening 20 years ago. It was just very hush hush. Then people caught on to it like 15
Yeah.
10, 15 years ago, like Idaho and Montana and Texas, mainly Texas, but you get the idea, right? So
Yeah.
it's been kind of this weird story of like how all these people kind of switched places and moved around and it's really moving capital around, right? So it's kind of like a weird like capitalism thing or something where they're all like, well, let's move in and develop this, and let's make it all like just like California, but we're doing it under the guise of like escaping fascism or something. So
Brown's boys called it techish, with the Joe Rogan right over there leading the queue.
Exactly.
What up, Brown's boy?
Exactly.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
So, but Texas is the Lone Star state, so it would kind of make sense. They've always done their own thing, right? California's kind of can take care of itself if it needed to. Makes more money than most nations.
Texas and California are basically their own country in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
it does make
sense.
Yeah. They definitely do have leverage. If our republic, quote unquote, was real in any sense, like they would definitely have the most leverage out of other than New York City. It'd be like New York City, Texas, and California that would have the most like leverage to like actually change things for sure.
Yeah, and maybe like Florida, a fourth Florida, but like Texas and California for sure.
States unite as the Florida Alliance. They actively seek to recruit other states into their cause, employing violence in their quest for expansion.
Okay, so now the third group there's this Florida, they call it the Florida Alliance, where it's Florida and these southern states right here. Sorry, like where we're from, maybe some of these right here we used to live, but they're using violence. It says. So I got this might be the director's take on militia groups and stuff, right? Like those,
exactly. Yeah, for sure it is.
Yeah.
For sure.
The New People's Alliance represents northern states.
Now you'll like this one, the New People's Alliance. Check out this, Neuro. The New People's Alliance. Doesn't that sound very communist?
It sounds very Chinese.
Yes. And look exactly, and it has Portland. I mean, it has Oregon and all that shit. Oregon and Washington.
To be honest with you, I think that is kind of what's happening in a weird way. Like, to be honest with you, like, but it's kind of like very hush hush. Yeah, it's very, very hush hush. But I do think that's kind of what's happening.
I think so too. Yep.
The New People's Alliance represents northern states. However, this alliance lacks the military strength of the Western forces and the Florida Alliance.
They're saying that they're soft. It's like the Antifa, right? Antifa, right? But yeah, I mean, Idaho's here. That's like a lot of. They had that's what Uncle Fatty was talking about the neo-Nazi capital.
Idaho is weird. It's actually like very leftist too. It's like very right wing and very leftist. Like if you go to like Coeur d'Alene or that other western city, it's very leftist. Like it's kind of like under the radar, but like like they crack down on crime and drugs, but it's still like if you look at the politics, it's pretty left wing. That
sounds like Uncle Fatty. Uncle Fatty to a T, right? He's very left, however, he ain't no pushover in the traditional left sense. I mean, in the modern left sense. So that's funny. Yeah.
Creating a sense of fragmentation.
Yeah, and so again, like I'm anti.
You were saying? Okay, yeah.
Sorry, I'm outside with my son.
That's
He's
okay.
like running around and stuff, so I'm just talking to him.
But I appreciate you helping with us.
No. But I want to talk. This is a good conversation. So, remind me what we're just saying. Sorry.
Oh yeah, about the Idaho, the New People's Alliance sounds very communist Chinese. Up here, this group, this third group, that's against the federal government, the president, right here in the movie.
Yeah.
So
hold on one second.
And uncertain.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think that New People's Alliance up there, because they don't have a lot of power or or they don't have the propensity to violence like some of the other separatists. I think they're more ideological, probably. Yeah. But with that said, they probably have ties to China. I would imagine that if this was real, China would be trying to influence, and other countries would be trying to influence these separatist groups, right? So they can have a foothold in America.
About the nation's future. Each faction is driven by its own ideologies and goals.
So the purple is all still loyal to the president, the federal government. Interesting. That's funny how New York would be loyal to the president.
Suggesting that even if the president is overthrown, struggles for dominance among these factions are inevitable.
Right, because I mean, the movie's just basically about reporters trying to get to Washington during the last month of the president being in power, basically to be alive, so they can get a quote from him before he gets executed, basically, right? And with that said, once he's executed, bro, all these other groups are probably going to fight each other. I don't think they're going to have like a continental Congress and just like hash it out. I don't see that happening at all. Yeah. Shut up. Smash the like button, right? All that shit.
Yeah.
Buy me coffee, all that.
It's funny because like some of my
Shut
friends
up.
really believe this is the future of America. They think it's like the balkanization of America and all that, which I think we might see that, but ultimately, like, I don't think it's going to be bloody. I mean, it could be, but I don't think it will be, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
I think if that happens, the whole world's going to fall into like a really bad situation. Personally, like, I think if that happens,
I think people are too lazy.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It would be a horrible situation.
I mean, think about it. Like, everybody has to
not
detox from their
passionate
phone and actually go do something. And I don't think people are gonna do that willingly, for sure.
No,
Like,
no.
you know.
They would have to shut off the phone for that to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
There'd be
Yeah.
like a power grid down or whatever. Yeah.
The movie,
Exactly.
the Civil War is
if the
mostly
power goes down, then either one will kumbaya together, or two, it'll be like cannibal, Holocaust or something. Or well, I don't know if we can say that, but that's a movie, but you get the idea, right? It's going to be one or the other. It's going to be either like some sort of really bad thing happen or something. Everyone's going to start seeing they have a lot in common all of a sudden. So
I seen that happen in '89 when they're during the Loma Prieta earthquake, San Andreas fault, all that. How people came together actually. A lot of our powers were out in Santa Clara, San Jose, and people were like helping each other, and it was nice. So it was really crazy. Yeah,
we need more.
That was an earthquake.
We need more earthquakes.
Well, I'll give you some over here in Taiwan, man. We got too many over here.
Or through the perspective of journalists.
Well, it's just like Homeland, right?
Portrayed by Kristen Dunst.
Yeah, I can't get away from it. Just like I can't get away from the two biggest semiconductor companies, Intel and TMMC. Right? I follow the semiconductor wherever I go.
Is the main character. As a photojournalist, she covered war zones abroad. Lee and Joel are determined to tell
Kirsten Dunst. Look out! She started in. Oh yeah, I don't know if you're a movie guy, but like Interview with a Vampire. Where she was a little girl.
I watched a lot of those movies. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
I think that movie's and it's also based in San Francisco, by the way. It's a kind of weird.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yes, they do go there. That movie's great. And then here we go. We got the guy that played Pablo Escobar from Narcos. He plays this very zealous, crazy, wild reporter, like journalist, and she's the weathered, seen too much death and destruction, jaded photojournalist.
Story of this civil conflict, which leads them to plan an ambitious trip from New York City to Washington, D.C. to interview and photograph the president, who remained silent for over a year. Veteran reporter Sammy and rookie photojournalist Jesse joined them on this.
So what happens is like they go to New York. She's in New York and she goes to. New York is a loyalist to the president state, right? So with that said, any state that's loyal to the president is seen as a op to the Western Alliance, and they're making it difficult for them to get basic needs, even water, right? So there's like water riots in New York right now, and she's filming it, and she sees this young reporter, Jessie, this young girl, and she wants to be a reporter, and she's like kind of like trying to tag along and see what they're up to.
Dangerous journey, navigating war-torn landscapes and facing the challenges of an
She's Mary
economy
Jane,
in
that's
free fall, characterized by ration goods and violence. Urban warfare wreaks havoc on infrastructure, and journalists
militia groups,
encounter
Neuro.
the grim realities of lawlessness, with looters facing brutal punishments. As war rages
I mean,
in
I don't
urban
know. See,
centers,
that's the thing is like I'm actually pro militia, but like not in the way that it's done. You know what I mean? Like I think that any free people, of course, you should have the right to defend yourself from things, right? But of course, the way it's done is like in a very LARPy, like we're gonna take back our government, stuff like that. It's like very cartoonish, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The Black Panthers were. I think the Black Panthers were trying to do that too, right? So I think it's like I don't think that they were bad for like wanting.
No,
to
I'm just
have some
protecting
sort of,
their
like,
neighborhoods
whatever.
and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Protecting their neighborhood. Yeah. And in this group, I mean, this movie, they showed like they pull up to get gas in the beginning of their journey to those guys sitting there, right? Which would be very intimidating, right? You don't know, because the thing about the militia groups, you don't know what side they lie on. Are they with the federal government, or are they with the Western Alliance? So they don't know where you're about either. So it's very dangerous pulling up on them. So because in the movie they go to the gas station, they trade $300 for gas, fill the tank, right? And he goes, US dollars, that's nothing. All you can get is like some chips in the store. And she goes, 300 Canadian, because I guess America's money ain't shit at that point, right? Do you think if there was a civil war though, that based on all the places you've seen around America, do you think the local communities would stick to currency, or would revert to a barter system, like bullets and food type shit?
Well, I think all those things always have value anyways. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think food, bullets, and medicine are always going to be a currency in one way or another. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe even like intergenerationally, you know what I mean? Like maybe you can give your kid, something like imagine like medicine. Like think about this. Like if everything goes down, the grid goes down, medicine's going to be like the number one thing. Cause like people die from like toothaches and stuff without medicine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or so it's like, that's one of those things where like people always underestimate, like they think they're like, that's why I always laugh when people are like, oh, my gun's gonna protect me or whatever. It's like, not really. I mean, in the long run, medicine and food will always win out. You know what I mean? I think that's the thing that people don't really think about, And also like negotiation and like being a person that people want to deal with, You know what I mean? Like
personal skills, like
the cost of violence
skills
is too high for anyone other than the government to do it. I think so. I think a lot of people just pretend like, oh, well, my survival skills are going to outdo everyone.
Right. Yeah. That's why, like, when people hear like somebody said like Taiwan doesn't have weapons, they don't have they don't give their citizens can't have weapons. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks. But then again, that's the reason why it's so safe too. But with that said, they're like the way they think is they think like, oh my god, if the China invades, what are they going to do? But they're not going to do much anyway. If a civilian, I don't think.
Well, the whole point
of
taking something over is the people. I mean, there's not a lot of places in the world that is going to get taken over just for resources. Like, maybe Afghanistan or Africa. But again, like they don't just go in and get rid of everybody. They want to put them to work. So like, maybe there'll be some sort of servitude or slavery, I guess. But and again, that's not good. I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, they don't just come in and wipe everybody out. Like, unless you have like a ton of people to bring in or something, which is not generally going to be the case, I think. So
especially when they think that China says it's already claimed Taiwan. That'd be kind of stupid in that case. They go slaughtering everybody.
Again, like, what's a nation? It's like, like, what is a nation? Like, China's the most racial nation in the world, as far as I know. I mean, they're basically like 90% Han Chinese, I guess. So like, again, this is one of the things where people are like, this is why I think a lot of the whole like white supremacy thing is kind of like one of these like red herrings in a sense, where it's like people are, again, it doesn't mean that there's no truth in it, but it's kind of like, well, what country is like a white supremacist nation, like practically speaking, you know what I mean? Like there's not really any like 90% white country in the world right now, as far as I know. But I mean, maybe Denmark or Sweden or something.
It used to be like that, but now they probably have people from Africa and Middle East and different places. Yeah. So you're right. There's really no place like that. And even in those countries, like I would assume that most of them are pretty liberal, even though there is in those quote unquote, there's probably fractions of that where they're very against new people too.
Right. And again, whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm just saying, like, it's interesting that people, the thing with China is like, I don't think China is like the biggest threat in the long term, just because like, I don't think they have as many people as everyone thinks. And I also don't think that they're like, they might want to expand into like Japan and Taiwan. I don't necessarily think they want to like be responsible for
for America,
a large area of land in the world. I think they want to exploit the resources in Africa, but I don't think they want to like colonize Africa long term, send like half their people there.
Well, I would say it's a soft colonization through breeding and business, like I think they're using it as a bread basket, and it's funny, like not traditional bread basket with literally wheat and barley, but more for goods, cheap goods that they can sell to their people and people around the world. All those factories are there.
Well, that's kind of what the Spanish and the Portuguese, I kind of feel like, did. Like, they kind of exported their men and said, okay, man, you're never coming home. Go wherever you're going and don't come back home. It's like, which, whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know. But, like, I think that's kind of a more, I mean, it's a little bit more logical from an empire standpoint, right? Like, if you're trying to start an empire, you'd go and send people out, not, to never come back, essentially,
Right. And then set up their posts. That's what colonies were. That's what the colonies were.
Yeah, and that's definitely what China's been doing, and now I think India is doing it big time. And so, again, it's like right or wrong. I think it's like natural. Like, I think most empires would want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's that weird. I'm sure like most of history has been like one clan wanting to like outdo another clan, or in some way. So
my city where I live in the oldest city in Taiwan, and it used to be the capital city of Taiwan, the first capital, and they call it the Phoenix City. Look at the Phoenix; it like dies.
That's what they have for San Francisco too. They have that for San Francisco too.
Oh, the Phoenix. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
They have like a big phoenix coming out of like a torch or some shit. Something like that.
Yes. That's here too. It's kind of like that, yeah. Because we had the Aboriginal people. Who knows who was before the Aboriginal? Maybe quote unquote black people, original people, or whatever. But then there was Aboriginal people, and then there was the Chinese from mainland China would come over here, and then there was the Japanese. Oh, then there was the Dutch, right? They took over. Then the Dutch were let out of here. They lost to the Kashinga, who was half Japanese, half Chinese. And then he ruled for a minute till he died, and then the Japanese took over, colonized it, and then Mao beat the national Shanghai Czech, and Shanghai Czech came here and retreated, and it became Chinese culture overlaid the Taiwanese culture. You talked about that before, how like we talked about that before, and now it's just and the Americans came here too, right? They had bases here. Right, so man, this and still it's still Taiwanese, very Taiwanese. So it's not the end of the world if you're quote unquote colonized or have people come to your place.
Yeah, and look, and again, like I kind of troll with that for a reason, because like again, like European people have been colonizing and destroying each other for thousands of years too. Like, it's not like white people have been immune to it. Like, the whole term white basically like implies that some group of Europeans kind of like took over the other ones and is kind of like now enforcing something upon them. Whether you want to say that's the British or the German or whatever, I don't know. But like white never existed. Like it was different clans like hurting each other and taking each other over, and blowing each other up in the the oceans of the Mediterranean and all this stuff. So you know what I mean? It's just like
I've also heard that.
Yeah.
I also heard that like everyone, a lot of people talk about Black's Law Dictionary. You have to have that. Like the old term for legalese term for white meant a free person, no matter what the quote unquote nationality or color. And black meant like you were in bondage or whatever. But then some European, like probably like some eugenics guys in the 1800s, they started using the chronology stuff and all that, the racial science in order to caste system. They probably learned from the Indians, the red dot, Hindus about the caste system, and they just here we are. But here's the thing: this is why my show yesterday, I had that volume 1 of calling it the human race, because it's so. Sometimes it gets boorish to talk about black, white. We don't even talk about Asian, yellow, or red. So it's just like I'd rather just talk about like what we have in common.
There is this new movement to like make all Asian people just Asian people, and so there's this guy named Professor Hamamoto I watch.
Oh yeah, I've been watching him since you told me about him years ago.
Yeah, I love what he says. I love what he says. Like he's like, all right, my yellow brothers. He's like he's kind of like inferring like first they did it to the blacks and just kind of like homogenized them. Then they did it to the whites. Now they're doing it to the yellow Asian man. And I think that's very true. It's like
Shadow Buddha is a proponent of that. He talks about that shit, like about how none of us in America know our culture. This is why you have the craziness we see in terms of racial shit and stuff, because the white people don't know their European roots. Blacks don't know their African or South American roots. You know what I mean? You don't know shit.
Exactly. And again, like I think it's interesting because everyone wants to make you don't know your roots, man. And they get mad and angry about it. But I kind of think it's like, well, you could take it as a good thing and say like, well, let's create something new out of it.
Exactly.
That's kind of what my problem with liberalism is like. It's like they always bully you to get back into line with like this kind of like white supremacist liberalism that kind of just whitewashes everybody. And I mean whitewash not like in a general sense of like, well, it's like a set of terms that always change, right? And that's kind of like been the problem with. I mean, again, like I think there's a good way to like criticize white people where they have like this like general, cultural Christianity where they try to like apply this like nebulous ethics on everybody equally, which in general is a good thing because like that's how you have a rule of law, that's how you have trust, that's how you have all these things, but it can be hijacked in a negative way and in a positive way. Like you could have a positive outcome from that and you could have a negative outcome from that. So I think that's one of those things where, but at the same time, like it is kind of good in a way where everybody's now like more self-aware and they started thinking about like their place in the world and stuff. So like, it's a very double-edged sword in my opinion. Like I think it's like fire. Like it can serve you well or it can destroy everything you love. You know what I mean? I think that's
illuminate
it's just
or
a very dangerous
burn everything
thing that
down.
we're dealing with.
It is, and Buddha kind of what you're saying here. It says he said we won't have a civil anything. People are too lazy to go out, and it's all internet LARP talk. Yeah, people just want to go to work or collect their welfare, SSI, or disability checks. Definitely, they don't have time to reflect like Neuro was sharing right now. Not too much self-reflection. They don't find time for that. I'm not mad at them, but I wish we could do better. We can do better, huh?
Yeah, I was watching clavicular. I've been looking at X more often now, and so like clavicular had this like
X a lot.
trailer for some like documentary. You like it? Yeah, I mean, I like it because it's
just
very
besides
it's
YouTube.
very weird. Yeah, I agree. It's
all you need. Those two.
It's very weird. Yeah, it's very weird though. Like I like it, but it's like it's hard to get used to because I never used it before like a year ago. So.
Yeah.
And I haven't really actively used it until very recently, like past like month or so. I've really tried to like engage with it a little bit and figure out like, okay, like how can you like grow an audience here? And I haven't really done much on it, but I'm trying to figure it out.
I think it's really personable, Neuro. I think you can really compared to YouTube and Facebook and all that, I think you can really hone your algorithm more with it. I think it's
I
more
hope so.
nuanced there.
I've done a couple spaces, but I do want to try to do more spaces, because the thing I do like about it is like you could talk to some very high level people. Like
yeah, like it's nothing.
Yeah, like you might be like you literally might be able to get into an X space with like Elon Musk or something. Like
Yeah, I'm about to say
it
that.
might
Yeah,
be hard. It might be
you
hard
never
to
know
do it, but
though.
like
But you
could do
never
it,
know
though.
though.
Yeah.
Much
Yeah.
easier than here on a YouTube.
Oh yeah, for sure. YouTube's kind of
It's more
like very
the gated community.
it's very gated community. Yeah, exactly. That's and I think that's what's killed YouTube. Is like YouTube's really great, but it's not very dynamic. And I think that's the thing I don't like about YouTube, unfortunately, you know.
There's no way to message people even. It's stupid, bro. Like you go, I'm gonna talk to you on a fucking I have to talk to you in a damn comment section.
Yeah, well, and TikTok is really weird because you have to speak in newspeak. You can't say anything remotely offensive at all. Or if you do, you have to speak in code a lot. And it's like, it's just very taxing to try to do that all the time.
With that said, though, it's very important. I think TikTok.
Oh, I agree.
It's
I think
super important.
TikTok's the most important because that's where the young people are, and I think wherever the young people are, that's where you need to be, because like they just don't know anything about what's going on right now. Like they think they know, but they just don't. Like, and nobody's gonna tell them. Like that's like most young people just don't. They never grew up without the internet, so they just can't even imagine
without it.
Like, yeah, they can't imagine that people are even real. I feel like they're just like disconnected from like their humanity in a way. And like I'm not saying that to like denigrate them. I'm just saying like that's like they don't really see. I think they're the most psychopathic generation, you know, for sure. And I don't mean that like purely negatively. I'm just saying like they don't. I don't think they empathize very well.
Well, this is what I was trying to. I went on RLM show for the first time last week. Rebecca, that lady. I don't know if you've seen her before. She does panels now, and I was talking about because I was bringing up the Caligula when I was watching. Right, I don't know. You probably saw that when I was reviewing it on my show.
A little bit, yeah.
And I was letting them know in terms of like astrology has a method for that. When you're speaking about the generation, there's a generational specs or aspects or ways about them each generation has, right? And like ours, me, Generation X is like Libra, you know, like we think about the other a lot. Whereas like maybe the people born in the 90s, late 90s, they're the Scorpio soul group, where they're more into really themselves, finding connections through themselves. Everything goes through. They're more apt to look at their own perspective more. Doesn't mean they don't want to connect with people. It's just they do it in a way that's like totally through themselves, and that can be seen as a psychopath in a way too. It was unbalanced. So it's funny how like Facebook is for the boomer generation, kind of. I don't know. YouTube is maybe for like a lot of Generation Xers, and then like this TikTok is these Zoomers and whatnot.
It's weird, yeah, and it get into like a thing, and like I don't mean negative tone, but like I mean this in a really weird way. So like for example, right? Like I've been talking to some younger people on TikTok, right? And one thing I've noticed is like the men generally speaking don't a lot of the ones on the internet, at least, they really are very antisocial, like more than us for sure, right? And I think it's one of these things where like a lot of women are becoming woke out of a desperation of just not having any social men around, and so they in a positive way, and so it's become this like negative feedback. Like we're all like becoming you know, like, oh, I'm going to be a lesbian, or I'm going to be childless, or I'm going to be a boss girl, or whatever. And again, like some of those things are naturally going to happen anyways, but I think a lot of it's kind of happening kind of like as a reaction to the social situation that they find themselves in, if that makes any sense. I don't know.
Yeah, their environment is dictating that big time, and not in the not necessarily an organic way. the things that are being shown to them aren't organic. It's like you can be an individual, but you have to be our type of individual. The social engineers would say. You know, you can wear that leather jacket with rips in it, but we put those rips in it. What else we have here? Let me say, Scotty B. Pippen. You can have enough food to fill a Costco without guns to protect it. Then it doesn't matter. You just keep safe. Me until I want it. You just keeping it safe. It's like your own pantry right there. What's even crazier is to think that once an entire country it will get bad. Yeah. Once an entire country becomes one race, then things will be fine. Well, unless it's like the
not necessarily. I mean, I grew up around a lot of white people,
Obama.
and I did not get along with most of the white people I grew up with. So
that's true. I mean, when I moved to Oakland, I was at one of the most fearful times in my life. And it was like 90% black in the neighborhood. Yeah, it's like fucking craziness, right?
That's the thing is like I think diversity. It can actually be a strength in a lot of ways. I think it is a strength in a way, but it's just like I don't like that mantra because it kind of implies that that it's only a strength like intrinsically, and I think it's like no, it's like, and that's kind of what I was talking about the eugenic side. Like, younger people are going to become dysgenic kind of like naturally because the people that don't think about the future are just going to have kids. And the people that do think about the future are just going to like overthink it because they have so much free time and distorted perception of the world. You know what I'm saying? And so like they're going to over correct for the situation because like they didn't grow up with like what do you call it? Scarcity. Like I grew up in extreme scarcity as a very young kid, right? So then when I get nice things, like I can't appreciate it because I didn't have it, right? But I think a lot of these kids, they kind of grew up in abundance. And again, it's even if it's not like the best of quality, but like what I'm saying is like generally speaking, like they don't have to worry about like where their next meal or like housing is going to come in, right? Like, and I think that those struggles kind of do make you. It's not. I don't want to glorify that either. I'm just saying like it gives you enough perspective to mature. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of these people. I think a lot of the women are able to overcome it, but I think men in particular, like without a struggle, they don't grow. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
and they're not getting out because and in order to have a struggle, you need to take the hero's journey and go outside. Not even talking about like trying to rizz up chicks or anything, but go explore. When you're a preteen, go explore the fucking woods or whatever, or take a trip to bus if you live in the suburbs to the city. Go to the movies and the museum or by yourself or with a friend. Adventure. No, but now there's a lot of comfort at home. You can sit in your gaming chair and play video games on Steam all day, I guess.
I think video games are one of the worst weapons in the world. I think it's one of the worst weapons that's ever been released on mankind.
Yeah,
because like I do like video games, but like I think it's hitting like critical mass where it's like it just becomes such a danger to society. Like if I were dictator tomorrow, the first thing I would ban is like video games. I think that'd be like the first thing I would ban.
Well, I think in China there was like a limit how long you can play or something like that.
Yeah, they had really. I think there in Korea they had a really bad problem with it. In Japan maybe too. Yeah.
Yeah, in Japan, and people died in the gaming cafe, and nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. Look at this. My son, we let him play video games and stuff, like because like he does so much at school. He works hard at school, gets like a straight A's, and then does gymnastics and judo and triathlon, and swimming. So it's like, awesome, man, give him a break. Let him unwind.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like I don't think video games in and of themselves are bad. I just think that it's like it just becomes such a crutch for and I don't blame the people individually. That's why, like I said,
I like how you say that.
Yeah.
I like how you mentioned that earlier when you were talking about the youth, about the generation. You're like, and I think I need more of that. I want to be around more people like yourself and Shadow that talk like that. because instead of just throwing like a whole bunch of people under the bus just because you say something negative about some of them, or just because you don't flat out like them, one of them. And that's really off-putting when people talk like that around here. You know?
Yeah, I mean, even like the boomers, like I do think that like the boomers are responsible for a lot, but also like I grew up around boomers, and like I think some of them, it's just kind of like one of those things, like they grew up in such scarcity, and then they didn't have scarcity, and like it was like they just never thought it was going to end. They're like, well, I didn't have scarcity after the age of 30, so you probably won't either, right? I think they just kind of like thought of it that way.
Yeah.
And but it's also like you have to learn how to like measure abundance with like fruitfulness, right? Like if we have all this abundance in the world, like basically like no one in the world should starve to death at this point, right? Like there's plenty of food for the whole world to eat, right? But also nobody should be fat. See what I mean? Like ideally, right? So
that too.
And that's kind of what's interesting.
Yeah. So, Marte had the debate. Make it a mandate. You cannot be fat.
Yeah. Well, like, and look, I say this as a person who is fat. Okay, like I'm not here like preaching like I'm not fat, but you know, I mean, I'm not like super.
But like, if you cut out for a second, but like Patrick Bateman says, you can always be fitter. He always says. I like that. Yeah, but you realize the importance of being, being healthy. Your weight, especially, because you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you're overweight, you're not thinking to your potential.
It can definitely limit you in many ways, and also like and just in general, like if your body's healthy, your mind's healthier, or at least in theory, So
no, it's true,
and
it's true,
and
yeah, you got that, man, Red. Yeah.
But like Clavicular is promoting like all these different biohacking compounds and stuff, which I think is kind of cool.
Peptides.
Right. And like, because I am interested in that. Like, I don't know if they're fully safe or not, but like, I do think it's interesting because I know that like big pharma is a problem. You know what I mean? This one. So,
yeah.
But also it's kind of like, if we're in such a sick society now that we do need to go do all these different things to biohack so we're healthy again, like that is another debate that needs to be had. Like, do we need to change society or do we need to like adapt to it, right?
Yeah, I personally think we don't need it. I mean, if you want to be like maxing, like the Black Pillars say, as Clav says, maxing at this, like mog maxing, right? Yeah, you can take those things, those supplements. However, I come from the school of my mogger named Cole Robinson, the snake diet guy, right? And he's I think we talked about him before. Maybe he's a small guy, but he's definitely a mogger. Like he just mogs life, and he's a natty to the extreme on everything, and he's strong as fuck. And I don't think you need it. I don't think you need it. However, hey man, if you feel like you need something here and there, a supplement, that's fine. But in terms of like tests and steroids, unless you're a bodybuilder,
I'm not a big fan of that. But like the stuff that they're doing now is like, I'm almost wondering, like, is it designer enough where it's like getting to the point where it could just maximize your own body's production of testosterone or something? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I think that's interesting,
Well, I know Zerka. I listen to Zerka's stuff too from time to time, and he's big into all this stuff, and he sharing about it, and he was like, this new thing that's like, because Ozempic's already, the word is out on that. It'll destroy the fat, but it helps. You also decrease your muscle mass too.
The retatrutide, that's why these people, I've been looking into that. Yeah,
that's why people look crazy
and stuff like that.
The red shit, that's the red shit. Like that stuff is supposed to literally cut fat, but also help you gain muscle too.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, like, if you can afford like a really good blood work and somebody who really knows what they're doing, I'm sure it can work. But if you're just trying to like hack it, if you're just trying to hack it yourself at home, like, I think you're definitely gambling. You know what I mean? Like, I think you could figure it out. Like, I've seen people
Probably could.
seemingly have figured it out, but like Clavicular is doing this thing where he's taking some supplement that like recycles his dopamine, so he feels like good all the time. And
Wow.
and again, that's kind of what I'm referring to is like, well, if we're in such a dopamine stimulating
Depleted.
place, and so like we need to recycle our dopamine to get back to a regular baseline because of the lifestyle that we're living. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that
Right.
that's good. What I'm saying is like, if we're not going to hit the brakes on the technology, we're not going to hit the brakes on the stuff.
Well,
like, what are we going to do?
yeah.
You know?
Right, you're being realistic because Clavicular, he can't. I mean, he can do whatever you want. You can stop anything at any time. Don Juan, like you can do that. However, his is how he's making money. This is his career now, so he has to be. He's plugged into the matrix of media, and so I guess it would behoove him to have a supplement that where he can't take a dopamine break fast, like where some of us can say, okay, no computer for 5 weeks, no phone, very limited. You know what I mean? Dopamine fast, but
and he's also and I just want to say these couple points because I'm gonna have to get off in a second. Cause, I might be able to come back, but I just gotta jump off. But here's a couple points I wanted to point out. What's interesting, right? So he's normalizing biohacking, which is interesting, and then he's about to go and do a month-long stream where I guess it's gonna be like 24/7.
Okay.
Following him around with a camera or something like that. I think that's what I saw. I don't know if that's true or not, but what's also interesting is that they're normalizing. Yeah, they're normalizing. He's normalizing harem, so he's normalizing that some guys are going to have like 10 girlfriends and other people are going to have like none, right? And I think that's very interesting, right? Because again, it's like it's unveiling like a it's an unveiling of like female psychology where women will deny all day that they are okay with it under the right circumstances, right?
Yeah.
Now, again, I'm not saying that like I'm not saying all women, but I'm saying like a lot of women would kind of like be okay with it to some degree. Like I was on this thing last night and this woman saying like on this TikTok and this woman saying like, oh, I would never, I think it's really creepy that a 30-year-old guy would date an 18, 19, 20-year-old girl. And I was like, let me ask you. And she's like, I'm 19, I'm a virgin. That's really weird. I was like, let me ask you a question. If a really hot, rich billionaire guy who's 31 years old came up to you right now and asked you on just a coffee date, would you take the date or not? She's like, well, I would take it. And I was like, okay, so is it creepy?
There you go.
Is it or is it not?
Yeah.
She's like, well, under certain circumstances. And I was like, okay, like let's just be honest, right? Like,
she's just never seen a 30-year-old like you, or never seen a 40-year-old like me. That's the type of shit. Like, it all depends. Like, bro, but that's hey man, more power to that 30-year-old man, right? 19-year-old,
right?
Good for him, man.
Yeah. Well, and again, like I don't think it's like creepy or weird, really. I think that like it can be for sure. But inherently, I don't think it is, right?
Right, and plus her background is some women are probably always been up. Like when they were in junior high, they wanted the high school guy. When they're in high school, they wanted the college guy. You know, so it depends on the girl too. But yeah, he's see what he's doing. He's doing what girls do in a sense. Except a lot of women who date may do it on the down low. 100% they have a harem.
Yeah, they
have a male harem, a stable.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's happening a lot right now. Like a lot of women, they say, "Oh, we're just friends," and she's going out with like 5 dudes.
No, friends mean
just her. It's like
romantic
come on,
a lot of
like,
times. Yeah, I learned that.
A lot of the guys
I learned that years ago when they say friends.
This is why like Myron Gaines so much is like Myron Gaines is saying like, look, every guy who's friends with a woman platonically wants something out of it. Now, again, he even admitted like that's not always true, but in general,
most of the time,
like it's almost always like going to be some sort of
right.
Like maybe if I hang around long enough, I'll get something out of it. And like, yeah, it's funny, but yeah, I don't know. I just think it's interesting because again, it's just forcing a conversation. Like I've been saying for 10 years, like you're going to have this deficit of enough men to go around. So now it's going to be a buyer's market on the men's side where men are going to have the pick of the litter for women, and it's going to go really bad for women. And that's happening now. And now all these women are going to find out that they don't have the pick of the litter that they thought they would, right?
Yep.
And I think that's kind of what you're seeing play out. And I don't think that's good for society. So like, again, like, even if I didn't care about the women individually, I think for society as at large, like that's going to be not good. You know, I
Right,
don't think
not
it's going
for
to turn out
not
very
for
well.
society. It could be good for people like my son is, how my son is becoming up because he'll
Exactly.
stand out. But
Exactly. Yep.
then again, he still has to be peers with these other
Well,
dysgenic people, as we say. Right?
well, alphas and beta. See this, like I don't really believe in the whole like alpha, beta, gamma, whatever. I think that there's some
Yeah.
validity in it, but just for lack of a better term, like I'll just use it. I because it kind of trolls people and it triggers them, so I kind of like to use it. But I think if you look at what happens to like alphas and betas, a lot of
Yeah.
times they do get attacked, and even sigmas. A lot of sigmas think, "Oh, I'm safe." It's like no, if you stand out, the
You said
gammas
not
and
right.
the whatever else, they'll usually
No, yeah.
like try to undermine you. You know,
They'll try to gang up on you.
Yep.
Shadow Buddha talks about some black pillars. They think that the alpha that they Chad worship, right? They think, oh, the Chad, he has it, Chad Roan, he has it all good and easy. But Chad reminds us that even the Chad Roan has competition.
I mean, look at Charlie
The
Kirk, the
alpha.
ultimate Chad.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he got taken out by what do they call that? The less
By
than
an
a
incel.
blue pill. Yeah, like yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Gamma
But,
or whatever.
something like that. No, I'm
Rest
just
in
joking,
peace,
but I think it's
Charlie.
funny.
Man.
Yeah, no,
Well,
like
he got
I
taken
don't
off
mean
the
to laugh at
mantle. That was crazy. Speaking of him, like that was crazy. He got taken off the mantle at his own studio. The picture, his wife took that shit off. I mean,
it's a really really weird situation. Like I have a whole theory behind it, but I don't want to get into it. But I don't
okay.
know. I've been well, you mentioned Marte because I've never really interacted with him, but I've seen how he's gotten treated. But but I know like him and Andrew Wilson have been doing some very interesting like interactions. I haven't watched that much of it, but
Yeah.
they are doing some really, even though I do have significant disagreements with Andrew Wilson, like I do think that he's
Yes.
doing some significant like impact in certain ways where, I would like to see more open style debates again, and more of the kind of conversations he's cultivating. Because, I think he would get better with more pushback. I mean, that's kind of what I was hoping to see when I was around that thing. Like, I think that, him, like, because he was on with Myron Gaines. Like, Myron Gaines is another person, like, I don't agree with everything, but, like, I like that they're pushing the envelope. Like, Myron Gaines said something earlier today where he's like, I saw some clip of him saying, like, you know, oh yeah, it was about that whole friends thing, about the whole like men only hang around women for like sex, and the woman's like, that's not true for all men. It's like, I mean, let's be honest.
Sometimes
here, right?
sometimes you have helpers and project collaborators and whatnot. Like
Yep.
I spend time with some of my mods. Like from time to time, I'll tap in with them. I'm busy, but like I'll be like, "How you doing?" and talk to them a little bit on the Discord and stuff. And it's fun, but this is like a business relationship in terms of like streaming and whatnot. Shout out to Markella for sure. She's actually in the hospital. My prayer and love goes out to you, Markella. Get better. We're thinking about you. But yeah, man, like with the Myron stuff, yeah. Oh, if you like Myron a lot, I don't know if you've seen his younger brother. He's like a refined version of him. Have you seen his younger
I don't
brother?
know much about Myron. Like, I don't. There's definitely things I don't like about him, but I like his general attitude. Like, I think he's got like generally good advice. I've never seen his brother though, but
his brother's just coming up. Like, I like Myron. Yeah, he's very polarizing for sure, and yeah, man, like he's one of those guys that harsh reality. I definitely think he means well, and that's
yeah. I mean, he's definitely like offensive and stuff, but it's just interesting that like they all like are like, I don't really like that they're trying to just go out and like rage bait people in real life. Like I do get it. I think it's good content, but like also like it is kind of
the
probably
HH
not the
thing.
best idea.
The HH thing. That night with the HH.
That was funny.
That was all
That's
of them. Those are the main influencers that are probably going to be raising a lot of children. Sneeko, Clavicular, Tate, Myron, Tate's actually, yeah.
Tate's throwing Sneeko under the bus saying he's gay now.
I know.
I don't know. It's funny. I think it's just funny. It's like it's good. It could just all be cross promotion. Like
Hey,
I
what
don't
up,
think we
Joe?
could ever like discount that it's probably a lot of a lot of weird stuff. But
Yes and no. I think it's all cross promotion. Even if they literally don't like each other, it's still they're making content off it. Like Casnico really quote unquote exposed Tate yesterday, went off on him the other day. I mean, he's done that before, but like yeah, all these guys are interesting though. I mean, I won't watch. I'd be like Shadow. Like we don't watch the whole stream. I don't watch the whole stream. However, I like it. I love the fact that that Sneeko is watching Professor Jung and interviewing him. I love the fact that Sneeko's reviewing Hidden America videos about the schizo and the psychopath. That channel.
yeah, I've been
Hidden
seeing that
America.
making the rounds. Yeah, Hidden America or whatever. Like I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't really have favorable views of that stuff. Not because like it's not true, but just because like I think it's kind of dangerous to put that out for normie consumption. I think that's like
That's
a very
true.
dangerous
Yeah, it's
thing.
like a loaded gun in their hand. But have you seen the guy? But she showed me the guy that actually makes those videos. Oh man, he looks like the old Munster, Grandpa Munster, but younger version. Hella creepy, but a young guy.
Oh yeah. He's very weird looking. I don't like that guy, honestly. Like some people thought he was black, and I was like, nah, he sounds like a
I
weird,
didn't
creepy
think he was
white
black.
dude.
I just thought it was like I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Nowadays, people tell you
But-
can't. We're this Neuro. This is what I want to show you before you go. This is. We're not black. We're not white. We're this. Wait, where is she? There she is. This is the future of America. Time magazine right there. See, they did it. See that? You can't tell what the. She's everything, right?
Yeah, it is kind of going that direction for sure. And,
Yeah.
and I think it's gonna be most of the world at some point. So
Yeah, for sure.
know.
That's what that woman looks like in this movie, the reporter. Sometimes she looks like she's Eurasian. Sometimes she looks like a little Blasian. Sometimes she just looks like she's just white. This is where we're at right now, which is fine. I mean, I don't gonna dwell on that shit. Yeah, the diversity is where it's at, right? But there is room for individuate sometimes too. We got room for that. There's room for that.
Absolutely. Well, I
Yeah.
have to jump off for now, but I'll try to jump back in if not today, another time. But I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Gabe.
I really appreciate
It was
this. This has been great. This has been the real Civil War we're talking about. And you have a fucking great day, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Love you,
you too,
Neuro.
man.
Talk to you soon, man. Peace.
You too, man. You too, brother. Right back.
Peace. Yeah. What up? Where's Paul? Who? I don't know. There's a movie called Paul about an alien, right? I look like it's from the makers of Ted, right? That movie Ted. So we're reviewing a Civil War. I'm giving you the synopsis of it real quick. Spoiler alert, right?
Civil society is at work to help affected civilians. They come across makeshift camps run by NGOs to resist the president's regime, rallying their military might to challenge the central authority. Notably, Texas and
good question.
California
I don't know where he is
form
either,
the
Austin.
Western forces. Most southern states unite as the Florida Alliance. They actively seek to recruit other states into their cause,
got Neuro Jack,
employing
though. He held it
violence in
down.
their quest for expansion. The New People's Alliance represents northern states. However, this alliance lacks the military strength of the Western forces and the Florida Alliance, creating a sense of fragmentation and uncertainty about the nation's future. Each faction is driven by its own ideologies and goals, suggesting that even if the president is overthrown, struggles for dominance among these factions are inevitable. In the movie,
Yeah, because if there's these separatist sections of America, even after they get rid of the federalist the government of the president, take him out, there's going to be some infighting there, right there.
the Civil War is mostly explored through the perspective of
Hey,
journalists.
Woody Johnson in the
Lead
building.
portrayed by
What up, Woody? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, the black pill is undefeated. Woody Johnson over there.
Kristen Dunst is the main character. As a photojournalist, she covered war zones abroad. Lee and Joel are determined to tell the story of this civil
Good to see you,
conflict,
bro.
which leads
Always.
them to plan an ambitious
Shut
trip
up,
from
Buddhism.
New York City to Washington,
Black scale.
D.C. to interview and photograph the president, who remained silent for over a year. Veteran reporter Sammy and rookie photojournalist Jesse joined them on this dangerous journey, navigating war-torn landscapes and facing the challenges of an economy in freefall, characterized by ration goods and violence. Urban warfare wreaks havoc on infrastructure, and journalists encounter
Look at this. Can you imagine pulling up to a gas station? You see these militiamen there. You don't know what side they're on. Are they with the Western Alliance? Are they with the president? You know, well, they're probably not with the president, but yeah. $300 for a tank. Full tank of gas.
the grim realities of lawlessness, with looters facing brutal punishments. As war rages in urban centers, civil society is at work to help affected civilians. They come across makeshift camps run by NGOs like the Global Relief Fund.
NGOs, non-governmental organizations, actually doing some good work, not like the Bilderberg Group or the New Economic Forum.
Providing shelter and basic necessities to displaced families. These camps are in stark contrast to suburban areas where some civilians remain oblivious to the war.
Yeah, look at that. Well, look at that. That's like some of these places you couldn't even tell there was a civil war in the movie. We're reviewing the movie Civil War. The green zone illusion, right? It shows like some of these people, they pretend that the war wasn't even happening. And I don't know, you guys, well, I don't know if Woody or anyone else, Austin, you guys have been all over. Maybe you traveled to the United States. Do you believe small town America could insulate itself from being having to choose a side during a civil war in America, or do you think the supply chain it's too interconnected for that to happen? I think it'd be, in order for that to happen, to insulate itself, it would have to be very self-sufficient already community, which I don't know too many of those. even those communes, those hippie communes, right? I don't know. Oh, there was no notification? Damn, that sucks. What's the matter? I was like, what's the matter with you, bro? Where's he at? Where's he at? Yeah, you're here now. We're just resetting this on Civil War Revisited. Let's see. There was a superstores, the Walmarts. I don't think the supply chain is too interconnected. The same reason why I think that Iranian war is going to end soon. I don't think that the United States can sustain that. First of all, they got no real country close by Iran where they can make their hub. Supply chain's going to get fucked up, man. Yeah.
In one scene, a woman in a seemingly untouched neighborhood desires to stay uninvolved, illustrating how some communities attempt to isolate themselves from the chaos surrounding them. I think the movie makes it clear that identity is an underlying theme of the Civil War. A tense encounter with a soldier from the Florida Alliance highlights racial tensions. The soldier selectively spares the journalists based on their origins, leading to a tragic moment for Tony, who is killed because he's from Hong Kong.
Yeah, I mean, look at that.
Leading to
that's Kirsten Dunst's actual husband right here. This actor, he's really good. He was in he played Jimmy Hoffa's son in The Irishman, and he was the Texas Ranger in The Moon, Flowers of the Moon, or that Martin Scorsese movie. Anyway, so yeah, he asked these guys, what kind of American are you? That famous line definitely suggests a breakdown of national identity. So do y'all think that you've noticed invisible borders where you feel like the in around America where the vibe has changed? and of the country has changed drastically? Do you feel like that's a new thing, or has it always been there? Is it there? It's been a while since I've been there. Last time I went to America, I was in 2019. Went to New York for the first time during Christmas. It was great. People were friendly there. Well, kind of like different than my expectations of New York. Went to Jersey, went to Pittsburgh, my wife's hometown. Then went to flew to California, the Bay Area. Right. So, do you think that there's invisible borders right now? It's very divisive. What's going on right now?
A tragic moment for Tony, who is killed because he's from Hong Kong. By the way, in this scene, Sammy rescues the group and gets shot as they're driving away.
Oh, sad.
As the plot progresses, the Western forces mount a substantial military offensive against the president. Their planning showcases their military strength and resolve. Scenes depicting a formidable military base in Charlottesville, complete with fighter jets, artillery, and tanks.
Charlottesville, that's where they had the Tiki Torch white supremacist march back in the day. You were shut in? You wouldn't go out anywhere? Yeah. Yeah. These militias would be everywhere if this was true. I wonder if it would turn into like a neighborhood watch, turn warlord feel everywhere. If there was a scenario where it was a collapse like that, where these Karens would turn into warlords.
The serious threat they pose to the president's power. A24 Civil War emphasizes the logistical challenges and strategic complexities of mounting a rebellion against an entrenched regime. The film's climax centers on the Western forces' assault on Washington, D.C. We learn that California and Texas successfully overpowered the Loyalist Army, leaving the White House with weaker protection than ever. And that's how the Western forces managed to roll into Washington. They advance on the Capitol, triggering a series of intense urban warfare scenes. Iconic symbols of democracy like the Lincoln Memorial are destroyed. The journalists embedded with the Western forces document the final moments of the president's regime as a tactical group invades the White House. This is where Lee meets her fate. The remaining journalists, Joel and Jesse, come to document history. A representative for the White House seeks safe passage out of the country for the president, but the Western forces refuse. The film concludes with the shocking execution of the president in the Oval Office, marking a dramatic end to the conflict. Click here to watch my long-form analysis of the real politics behind A24 Civil War, and click the like button to support the channel. Thanks.
Okay. Whew. All right. You said you would have to. What's the matter? You says it would have to if the neighborhoods didn't band together. They'd be toast. Definitely. Yeah. God damn. I don't know. Does this movie give you hope? It was an interesting scenario, man. What's the matter with you? We're going to go live. Definitely on Saturday night, man. Yeah. I'm glad. Hey, I'm going to have to revisit this topic again. I'm going to have to revisit this topic again. Definitely. Yeah, so like I asked Neuro earlier about the whole the thing. It's like a nightmare, this movie. And do you guys really think this would happen in America? A civil war? You think people would be able to get off their tookish and fight and be passionate about something? I say no. I don't know. Yeah. We look inward and try to fight the inner demons, right? Try to get better. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here right now. This has been Civil War Revisited, featuring Neuro Jack. Appreciate you, bro. That was awesome. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, man, your perspective was very valuable for someone that has a good take to what's really going on over there in America. What's the matter, you? Peace, brother, and everyone. Thanks for coming by, man. And we shall see you soon. Remember, yeah, life is what you make it. Take care. Love you, man. Peace. More than this. Yeah, they asked Stephen Colbert asked the other day. He asked Chris Hemsworth, aka Thor, if he can have one. If he can listen to one song, if he only can listen to one song for the rest of his life, what would it be? Yeah, and he said would have to be More Than This by Roxy Music, and I agree. This is a bang.
People be okay. Because I know I'm not. As a real nigga with feminine energy, I am not okay with that.